Hey YouTube, what's going on? This is Cheeseboy628 here today giving you an OU tier Pokemon Showdown battle. Now this is the final battle from the tournament I was talking about 2 days ago. Really great battle, you're going to see in a second. But first, I'd like to apologize for a little bit of a later post. You'll still be getting another video really soon, meaning technically 2 videos in the same day. But yeah, that's that, and let's just go right to the team preview. So I had the same team that I was using a couple of days ago, and I'm facing his team, which is also a rain team, and he's just picking a bunch of pokes that benefit from the weather, really. Although his only big physical threat is Metagross, which doesn't really benefit from the weather. But yeah, if I take that out, anything special can really come in and start doing some damage. Most of these pokes aren't used that much, so I won't know a lot about their sets. I know Cresselia will be bulky and Polito will just be to set up the rain, but that Jinx will actually be quite a bit of a problem with that special attacking, and you'll see later how its ability really comes into play. So, let's go to the battle. So I start out with my Politoed as I do want to get up my rain, and he brings in his Politoed as well. And I'm just going to switch out right away to Jellicent as that can wall the average Politoed set. But he does go for the Toxic right away. Does kind of hinder my Jellicent, but it's not a big deal. I'm going to go for the Toxic as just about anything does not appreciate the Toxic. But I do miss, unfortunately, and he has that Swanna there. And my Ferrothorn is physically defensive, so I don't take that Hurricane too well. But I take it alright, I guess. I just want to get my rocks up right now because half of his team does not appreciate rocks. But now I'm confused and I'll die from the next Hurricane, so maybe I can use Ferrothorn later. So I'll switch out to my completely specially defensive Tentacruel, and it doesn't take it amazingly. So that's some power, although it is stab and it's Hurricane. But yeah, quite a bit of power. The only damage that can do neutral with this Tentacruel set is Sludge Bomb, which does a decent chunk. I'm just going to go for it again just to play it safe, but he does bring in Metagross to, of course, be immune to it. Now, I'm not really sure what this Metagross set is, but since I'm specially defensive, I don't want to stay in there. Bring in Ferrothorn. Maybe I can take a couple hits, but as you'll see, he has a little bit more than enough to take me out in 2 hits. So my Ferrothorn goes down. But I have my completely defensive Gastrodon here, and I was thinking that he'd be afraid of the Earth Power, but he stays in, oddly enough. And I'm just going to go for the Scald again, just in case he switches out. But he does switch out, and he goes into his Jinx, which does have the ability where Scald any Water-type moves will heal it back up. And now I go to Jirachi as I feel like I can wall the set that Jinx has, and turns out he does get scared and retreats and goes back into Metagross. Now I have the worst luck with Jirachi when it comes to Serene Grace. And really, 60% chance. Go for the first Iron Head, breaks through with the Earthquake. Alright, well I have another chance here. I don't want to go for the Body Slam, I just want to do as much damage as possible. And go for it, and he breaks through again. So my Jirachi's down in 2 hits. No luck with Serene Grace there. So now I'm like, alright, that's it. Gotta go for the Hydro Pump with Politoed, do as much damage as possible. But he goes right back into Nicki Minaj there. But that Nicki Minaj has dry skin and just absorbs that water all the way back to full health. So yeah, I guess I wasn't really expecting the Psychic, as I wasn't really sure what its other attacking move was. But of course Psychic is super effective on my Tentacruel, and I'm pretty much forced to sag it now. So I go into Jellicent now, as I think this is my next best counter to his Jinx. And I take the Psychic fairly nicely, as I am max special defense, and I do get the Toxic off because any damage on this Jinx will be great. Now I'm kind of going to recover stall it a little bit, gotta get back to enough health, but then I have to switch out so the Toxic doesn't rack up on me. But as of right now, I'm going to recover up to about full health, and the Toxic is definitely taking its toll now. But he brings in Cresselia, and I think if I stay in one more turn, maybe I can get some residual damage, which would be really nice. So he does go for the Hidden Power, which is Electric or Grass, you'll see in a second. But yeah, it's kind of interesting set. and so I don't want to take too much more damage from the hidden power and from Toxic, so I'm going to switch out to Politoed, and this confirms that it's hidden power electric or grass. But now my Politoed's basically death fodder. I was kind of thinking he's going to switch out, so I went for the Focus Blast. But obviously he's just bringing it in, and he's going to take out as much of my team as he can. And this Cresselia here is sitting at not the greatest health, but he also has 6 Pokemon, and I have 2, being Jellicent and Gastrodon, my special and physical walls. Here I'm going to have to set up some recovers, get some more HP back, while he will die from toxic damage next turn. So he goes for the hidden power, I go for the recover, and I'm at nearly full health, which is great for me. His big wall Cresselia is gone. So that is definitely nice to have that out of here. Now he goes into this Emolga, which I haven't seen this entire time, but with that electric stab, I've got to be worrisome. So he goes for the Thunder. Of course I'm immune, and I have to wake up this Gastrodon. There's nothing I can do right now with this Gastrodon, obviously, and I just need to figure out how I'm going to somehow wake up and be able to do some damage. Now since I'm defensive, I didn't take this Hurricane too well. It does less than half though, and I get confused though, but I break through the confusion, and with my stab rain boosted Scald, I do take out that Swanna. So now it's 2-4, he brings in Metagross and then switches right to Jinx. I believe he said that was a misclick, not entirely sure. Nonetheless, I went for the Scald anyway, and he puts me to sleep. Now on my set there's an Energy Ball, which of course is ×4 weak, so I'm kind of scared of that, although that's for the more offensive sets, so by now I'm like, it's not going to have the Energy Ball. So here I just go for the recover. I need to get some health back with Gastrodon, and now I'm at a decent amount of health, and I should go to my special wall if I'm going to deal with this Jinx. So he goes for the Lovely Kiss. Luckily I switched out to Jellicent since I have Toxic, so I'll be immune. And here I can't do anything to the Jellicent because I have Scald, which will only give it more health. So all I can do is recover stall it, and he's going for the Nasty Plot, so he's obviously going to try to stay in and take me out. So my best bet is to get to as much HP as possible so I can survive, which I barely do, as you can see, and take a little bit of toxic damage, and then I have to switch out next turn, no matter what he goes into, which this is definitely a forced switch anyway. So now my Jellicent's toxic is reset, and my Gastrodon's sitting at decent health. He goes for the U-turn, goes into Politoed, not a big deal, I was forced to switch anyway. And here, I'm going to switch out right back to Jellicent, as this Politoed can definitely not do anything to me anymore. So he sets up the Perish Song, which knowing he has Perish Song, that means I have to keep both of my Pokemon alive. Because if I don't do that, then easily a Perish Song can take out my one remaining Pokemon, and that will definitely be the game. So, now it's me versus Politoed. I just want to get some kind of damage going here. But first, I need to recover to max health. So I can't damage anything yet, and I'm perishing next turn, so there is obviously no chance that I'm going to stay in. Plus I'm on a physical wall, and Gastrodon takes it fairly well. I'm just going to go for the recover here. It goes for the Bullet Punch, which I really don't understand. Nonetheless, I'm at good health here, and he does very little damage with the Earthquake. So my Stab Earth Power, which is super effective of course, will take out that Metagross. Now it's sitting at 2-2. And yeah, somehow I came back quite a bit here. He goes into Politoed, and I wall that set of course. So I'm just going to bring in my Jellicent, and really all I have to do is get some residual damage, or damage them with normal moves as much as possible, and I'll be able to clean them out. So I go for the Toxic, as nothing wants to take a Toxic anymore. If he brings in a Molga, he's going to take a lot from Stealth Rock, and he's probably fearing the Scald anyway. So, gonna keep Angelicent until, as long as possible, he can get some toxic damage going, as do I. But yeah, now we're both perishing next turn, so there's no chance I'm going to stay in, even if I could finish that Emolga off with the Scald. There's no need for that, as he has the Electric Stab, which I'm immune to. So it goes for the Air Slash, and that scares me, as I could get flinched, but luckily he doesn't get hacks, just like my Jirachi did, and I can recover to nearly full health and just finish it off with a Rain Boosted Scald. Now here, all he has left is the Politoed, which really can't touch me. And what's kind of funny here, he sets up the Perish Song, so there's no chance he's going to win. If anything, there's a possible tie. But with that crit and Spit F drop, there's not even a chance he's going to live this next turn. So he goes for the Toxic, it's not like anything else is going to happen. So his Politoed goes down, and I have a 2-0 victory. So that was an awesome battle, Andyhunty. Guys, if you look at the tournament bracket here, you can just see how it was all set up. Double elimination OU. And I ended up actually going through the whole tournament without losing once, so awesome. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. A couple announcements. Number 1 being that my video with Jax Gaming will be tomorrow. Number 2 is that hopefully my 50 subscriber special of a really epic match will be shown on Sunday. And my program for setting up these videos is running out on a time trial. So I'm trying something else starting Monday. And someone requested 720p videos, and it does render that, so I'll see if the quality's better, well, if it's different in any way. You guys can tell me about that Monday. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and sub, and until later, peace.